One thing which has continually irritated me is the conflation of homosexuality and anal sex. This conflation is probably a consequence of homophobes attempting to rally people against gay rights by attempting to appeal to their disgust reflex. When you debate homophobes about 50% of the time, they will go straight to talking about anal sex. You will think to yourself, I am here to debate gay rights, not discuss anal sex. But this is what the homophobes have a bizarre obsession with talking about, and make no mistake, thinking about. The issue with this conflation is that it is inaccurate. Many gay people do not engage in anal sex, and some straight people do. Anal sex and homosexuality are not the same thing. They may correlate to some extent, but they are very different things. This is not to say there is anything wrong or immoral about engaging in anal sex. There is not. It is simply to say that these things are completely different, and acting as if they are the same is inaccurate and idiotic. So why do I care about this? I don't just care about this because I value the honesty of arguments. Conflating these things to make gay people look gross or whatever is a dishonest argument, as homosexuality and anal sex are different things. It is a deceitful argument, designed not to make a logical point, but instead to incite the disgust reflex against a minority group. Right-wingers rarely enjoy doing this because they lack any good arguments. The argument is also part of the common homophobic idea that homosexuality is simply a form of sex and nothing more. As Hitchens, a man who I have many disagreements with but admire in many respects, said, homosexuality is not just a form of sex, it is a form of love. And homosexuality is absolutely a form of love, and it is homophobic, but most importantly, completely stupid to say otherwise. The greatest issue I think with this moronic conflation is that it really does get in the way of people understanding themselves and their sexualities. Many people are completely incapable of understanding homosexuality as anything other than a sex act which they find unappealing. This initial disgust, not at the idea of being with a man, but instead at the thought of anal sex, prevents them from seriously considering their own sexuality. This conflation cancels a rational consideration about oneself by invoking the disgust reflex. Do note that when I use the word gross or disgusting, I am not talking about the morality of anal sex. I think morally it is very much defensible. I am talking about the preferences of individuals. To anyone who doesn't know, I generally consider myself to be pansexual or bisexual. I remember reasoning to myself that I would never be engaged in a gay relationship, not because I was not attracted to men, but because anal sex was something I found to be very unappealing. Not only did I express this sentiment, but I have heard numerous other people say the exact same or similar things. I would be gay, but anal sex doesn't appeal to me. This conflation prevents people from understanding themselves and being who they are. It is very much the consequence of very stupid homophobic arguments, which know they can't make rational appeals, so instead they rely on trying to invoke the disgust reflex. It has the consequence of getting in the way of people understanding themselves. This conflation needs to go. It is inaccurate, born out of malicious deceit, and harmful to our understandings of ourselves.